Hello everybody, how is it going? So today I have a little gameplay from locals. My friend on Yamato, me on Red Green Law. I thought this matchup might have been a bit tougher for Law, but it honestly feels pretty fine. Yeah, maybe it's version dependent. I think right now he was playing Sky Island with just tacked in the ACOS kid. Kind of like I uploaded a video on it at some point. It's cool. It's kind of similar to a build that a lot of Yamatos are playing in OPO, like later on, like EBO1 formats, or I think it's mainly post like Luffy starter deck. You know, the three brothers. I can't think of what it's called, but he takes his first hand. I mulligan. I'm not sure who's going first. I think he ends up going first. We did dice roll, I think. Yeah, I do remember my hand. This game was very, very solid. I cannot lie. Also, sorry if there is any glare. I know my leader, I think at some points it gets a little bit bad, but I think you can mainly make out what cards we're playing. Yep, he's going first. He just passes it over to me. I'm going second. We'll get Art on. And I do think I start off with a Dodon. Cannot complain at that. Think I almost whiff, and then the last card is Nami. So, yup, went from absolutely nothing to probably the best search we could have got. Gotta be happy about that. Also, I've been thinking about like kind of trying to do maybe like POV at locals. Might be kind of cool. Not sure though. It's definitely a mayhaps. He just swings 8 at me. I take both of my life. No triggers. I mean, the only trigger I could have possibly gotten is like a radical beam, but why would I even use it at that point? Going up to 4 Dawn, I think we're definitely playing that Nami at least, and we'll see what else we end up doing. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how Law does into some of the other decks this format, like Reiju. I'm interested in how he does. He might be pretty good into Reiju because you have kind of the Otama into, you know, swing 5 a lot at like the 7 drop. To be fair, you know, like they do kind of have a lot of resources as Reiju, but they only really play 1 card a turn, and you're pretty aggro, so matchup might be okay. I don't know. I definitely want to test that at some point. I wanted to get more recordings at locals, but this was at like the end of locals, and like the shop was closing, so couldn't ask anyone else to hop in for some games. But yep, we're playing Nami, so we're looking good. Found one off the Dawn the other turn. I think I started the game with 1, so we're in a very good spot. And the little blockers against Yamato are pretty broken early game. Pretty broken. So we play down 2 choppers. He has nothing on his board right now, so we're in a very good spot, I would say. I don't know what he would even... I guess you probably want to play Ohm this turn to have some bodies on your board to fight back. Next turn is probably the ideal. Gadatsu is like okay, it can clear something, probably just a blocker. Ends up playing Shura, so probably doesn't have either options in hand, which is unfortunate. Definitely not the best spot. Does find the Ohm though, so is able to play that next turn if he wants to. Has 3 Dawn left. I mean, I don't think there's anything great to do, maybe outside of you could play just like a Holy. It's not the worst. Okay, he plays down the Yama. Yep, and just attacks me for 6. If you guys don't know Yama, it's just a 2-cost, 2k blocker. It has 1k counter, and it is searchable off all the Sky Island stuff. So, pretty synergistic if you're playing Kid. Card is cool. I just end up sacking off a Chopper, because I think I had a Bonnie in hand, and I was like, I want to play this Bonnie regardless. So, let me just use the blocker now. Someone just passed me a card. Thank you. Oh yeah, that was because I ended up extending locals because I think I lost round 1 and then I won 2 and 3, but the locals would have ended at 3. It was just a smaller locals if I because there's 3 undefeated, 1 got paired down to me, so if I took that win, locals was over. But I decided to just give him the win, so we got to play another round, and that was this round. But I was playing Reiju, and I didn't record. Because I swear, I like record 1 game with my camera, and it's dead by the end of it. Like, I do have 2 batteries, and I'm just lazy. Like, I'm trolling. I should definitely just charge the second one, so I can record more at locals. But I think I could have gotten 1 more game in before it died. So, just a bit unfortunate. Locals was closing. but we end up just going 5-5-5 after we leader effect. I do it early, which is debatable, but I think the reason I did do it early was because I didn't have a low cost to like play and then leader effect. So if I like attack with leader and then I got hit by like an Onami trigger, I just get annihilated. So I'd rather that didn't happen. So I just leader effect early, and if I swing into an Onami, I guess goodbye blocker law. But it just be like that, you know. I think you just pick the, what's the phrase? There's the phrase. I can't think of it. Some with evil things. I can't think of it. The lesser of two evils. There we go. It came to me, but we'll just pass it back. He is on, should be 7 down now. Just going 5 at Zoro. And I think he realizes here. I think he like thought in his head, like, oh, I Hody, and then I just poke that for 5. And I'm like, yeah, you want to take that back? And obviously I let him. He plays down the Hody, taps both my blockers, and yeah, now this turn is making a lot more sense. I think still ends up swinging at Zoro. I will definitely counter out. Sure, we'll probably clear like my chopper, and then I guess like his blocker could potentially clear my Dodon if he wants to. But I think we end up talking a little bit here. He's like, if I swing 8 at Law, will you let it? Is that like, would you probably let it go? And I was like, I have like 8 cards in hand. Like I'm definitely saving the Law if you just go 8. So it's probably best to just go 10 if you really want to clear it, and then just leave the blocker up. Yeah, I don't know, playing Hody into Law just feels scary, you know? Like it's like important in the matchup. Like I feel like he almost might have to kind of play this matchup slower and like not give me my first life, just because like if my hand is good and I have like little blockers to like not care about the like swings after the first one, I think this matchup is just really good for Law. Also, like again, my hand was really good this game. I'm kind of definitely firing on all cylinders, like just not whiffing, finding the cards that I want to see. So yeah, Law just does that sometimes. But we Bonnie into Bonnie, and then the second one we'll find a Luffy. Just something to do. I was hoping obviously for a blocker Law, because that's always kind of just the best play, especially when you already have a Zoro on the field. But thinking on how I want to attack here, obviously I'm just gonna ignore the Hody. You know, it's like it can stick around. I don't think I'm gonna end up having a blocker at the end of this turn, but I know I have a lot of counter power in hand, and I'm not too stressed about just randomly dying. We're gonna go 6 with the Zoro, just to kind of test this hand, and it kind of just worked out perfectly that in this spot he does not have 2Ks and ends up dropping 2 1Ks. So yeah, we'll now we're just gonna abuse that and just go 6 again. Probably be forced to take one of them. Yep, double 1Ks out. We'll leader effect, take back a Bonnie, play the Luffy, go 6 again, and he does take his last life, and gets a sure trigger. So this turn he really just like, I think just kind of has to try to go for it. It's kind of hard. Like he does still have the blocker, so like maybe he can live if he plays like Kid, but then he also needs to make sure he clears the Luffy, because Luffy is very good in the Kid. Yeah, just a bit of a rough spot. He also does know that I have a restand law, so this Luffy is just a huge problem, because it can just go for game, it can clear a Kid if it has to. Yeah, honestly, it was a pretty good find. Cannot complain. But honestly, like in this spot, you don't really super care about Kid. I guess it can get a bit dicey, like if I end up dropping to 0, but I don't think that ever really happens. Yeah, it's just kind of like, even if I didn't have this Luffy and it was just like a blocker law, or I just ended up like playing a restand law, I do think I had no Tama, so it's like my board still swings into Kid pretty okay. We also know he doesn't have 2Ks, so like at max he has like 1 on the fault, like the crackback, so yeah, it's like not too bad. He's just thinking out his turn here. It's definitely not the best spot. I think I remember when we first wanted to try this matchup, I'm like, I don't know how Law does into this, but like by like turn 2 or 3, I'm like, yeah, I think if I just am able to play Law, you know, like I don't brick or anything, like this is definitely hard for you, just because I have a ton of little blockers, and kind of almost like aggro Yamato, which is kind of weird. I think we both agreed that like just the mono green version with like Onami's should be better in this matchup. Just gonna poke my Luffy. So he probably wants to play Kid this turn. It's just hoping he can kind of clear it for cheap. That's like the goal here. Goes 8 at it with the Hody. I'll counter 2 and 1. I think it was a Dogra and a Brook. And yep, plays down the Kid. Doesn't need to sack anything off here. I think, yeah, just made a mistake. Well, wait, did he? 1, 2, 3. If he plays something off Kid, I guess eventually he has to sack something off. Okay, he does, so yeah. I do tell him, yeah, he can bring one of the Shuros back. And does get out a blocker there. So it does have 2 blockers to kind of defend this Kid. But I do obviously have the Luffy, which is scary. And I also have Otama, so we're in a pretty good spot. I definitely could have just went like Otama the Kid, rest of my Dawn except 2 on Luffy, attack Kid, and then restand, attack Life. But instead, I just swing a bunch of 6s. I think he only has like 4 cards in hand, or 3, so 6s will get through. And then I just have enough swings, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 swings, so I think it works out perfectly. He should have used, I think... No, he does use the blockers pretty early. Yeah, we go 6, 6. 1 gets countered, 1 gets blocked. The other gets blocked, so I think he's just out of counter at this point. We'll go 8 at Kid. And that has to go. And then we'll just restand and go 8 again. So I guess, in theory, it probably was just better to go big with, like, Luffy. And, you know, put him on, have it. But the rest of his hand just wasn't counter. So we do end up taking that. It was an Amaru and an Elthor. If he left 1 up last turn, yeah, things get a little bit scary for me. So probably should have done the better play of just Otamaing and then go big with Luffy twice. But here we are. I'm sorry it was just 1 game. I always want to record more at locals, but then it's honestly it's a hassle, and I also don't love asking, you know, people that I don't know if I can record, because I feel like it's more pressure on them, but it's all good. Outside of that, I hope y'all are doing great. I know I haven't been uploading a ton. I want to upload more. I'll get around to it, alright? But, yep. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.